Hello and welcome back to On Your Beauty. Today's video is going to be something a wee bit different, but I thought it was important and I wanted to do a video all about it. So today's video is about Cervical Screening Awareness Week. Now this runs from the 15th to the 21st of June, and for those of you that live in the UK, we get cervical screening for free. I'm unsure what it is in other countries, you may have to pay some sort of cost, but in the UK we're very lucky, we have this service available for free. So I think everybody should be taking advantage. Now I'm sure you would have heard of the Red Lippy Project, and it is all about raising awareness of cervical cancer and cervical screening. And this year they are doing a Flip Your Lips campaign. So you put on your red lipstick, you take a picture on your Instagram, on your phone, and you then just rotate the picture so it's on its side. And this will remind you of another body part, for us females anyway. I will definitely be doing this week. This is something that has become more important to me over the years. Just some quick stats, because I've recorded this video 4 times and it has always been really long, or I've just not been happy with it. So today I'm going to try and keep it nice and short and concise, and I will leave links down below to various websites for factual information. But I just wanted to share my story. The Flip Your Lips campaign has just give some small stats that I think are important. Cervical screening is available for free and it's available over the age of 25. You're generally contacted every 3 years for your screening, so for your smear test. There has been a decline in the number of women. Now let me just confirm this before I say it wrong. Yeah, 1/3 of women between 25 and 29 have not been screened. 20% of young women do not think it's necessary, but yet cervical cancer is on the rise and it's up by 60% since 2004. So they're just the main headlines, and given that people don't really worry or don't get it done, it's increasing. So we need to be aware of this, ladies, frankly. Very brief, my story. About 2 years ago, so in 2013, fluff there, I had a very near miss, or what I would count as a very near miss. I had been but accidentally been putting off my smear test because I'd had the letter and forgot about it and not got around to it, and this went on for the best part of a year. And then I got another letter through reminding me I really need to get this done, so I instantly phoned the doctor because I'd been meaning to do it but not got around to it, probably like a lot of people. So I went for my smear test. I was called back for abnormalities, so I went for another smear test. And there were definitely abnormalities, so then I was referred for, now I will say it wrong and I apologise if I am saying it wrong. I have attempted to say it by reading it, so that's how I've learned to say it, so forgive me. But it's a colposcopy, C-O-L-poscopy. I will link it down below. As I said, all links are down below. Went for that and they discovered, basically a colposcopy is a more in-depth version of a smear test. So for a smear test, you go to your doctors and a nurse will probably see you, generally a female nurse. If it's a male, you can ask for a female nurse, and they'll pop you up into some stirrups and they will use like forceps type things just to widen things a wee bit, so they can then pop in a swab, have a swipe around, make sure they get a good swipe of your cells, it's a good swab. That's then sent off. So a colposcopy, you are popped up onto a bed with some stirrups, and then the doctor slash nurse who specialises in this area will then apply various dyes to the area, so your innards, to find the abnormal cells, see what's going on, and then they will likely treat it at the time if need be, or they will take a biopsy, or they will do both, and you will either get called back. It's all dependent on each individual case. Now, colposcopy for me was kind of scary. I'd not actually experienced anything like that before, and I have to admit I actually was a bit weepy when I was getting it done because I was so scared. So it's entirely normal to be emotional about these things. I was very lucky. I had some lovely nurses and they calmed me down and they said, don't worry, people get upset about these things, it's fine, and sort of chatted to me and kept me distracted. In my case, I had a very large amount of abnormal cells. The cells that they had already tested, so I'd gone through a biopsy and that been sent off, and then I was back again for another appointment, and it turned out I had CIN3, C-I-N-3. So that's highly irregular cells and abnormal cells on the verge of becoming cancerous, and I had a large amount of it. Basically my entire cervix and innards were white. When they applied this dye, the entire area was white. And unfortunately I had a few cells that had started to become cancerous on the neck of my womb. So I had a small, what I like to say, small touch of cancer. At the time, for my colposcopy, while I was there, I had a loop excision done. This is basically kind of like cauterizing the area in a weird sense. So it's like a hot metal loop. This is my understanding. A hot metal loop is in, and they will use this loop to swipe away the cells that are abnormal, and they will treat them there and then. And that's what they did in my case, and they also removed any cells around the neck of the womb and gave me a really good clean out, is the polite way of saying it, and did some biopsies on the cells as well, just to confirm. So at the time, pretty scary. I won't admit that it wasn't painful, but it was definitely uncomfortable and a bit sore. I then had to wait between 4 to 6 weeks. My results came back after 4 weeks, thankfully. And thankfully they had cleared everything away, but there were definitely cancerous cells, and I did have a small touch of cancer, as I said. So it's a wee bit random, small touch of cancer. And I thank God every day that I actually went that time and sorted myself out and got my smear test. If I had not got that done, and if I had left it for another year, I may not be sitting here. And it's a bit scary to think about. I don't mean to get emotional, it's just, you think about it and go, wow, I would have missed out on marrying the man of my dreams. I would have missed out on so many life experiences. I wouldn't be around to dye my hair ridiculous colours, for goodness sake. Well, I may have been, but you know, you never know with these things, and there are a lot of what ifs. So for me it was very, very scary. I have come through and I was entirely fine. After the treatment, I went back again for a few more appointments over the coming months after that, just to confirm that the cells that were regrowing were healthy, that there was no more anomalies, and they had entirely treated everything. And they had. And the cells that had become cancerous, thankfully there was a small amount, like we're talking like a tiny amount, but as we are all aware, it only takes a little bit. But they were able to deal with it there and then, get it sorted, get rid of everything, and it was all okay, and they had managed to get the root out. You know, if you're weeding a garden, you always must get the root out, otherwise it will continue to come back. So they have managed to get rid of absolutely everything. It's probably a bad analogy for cancer, probably it's not how it works, but in my head, makes sense. So since then I am very keen on reminding people to get their smear test done, or if somebody's like, no, it's like, no, go get it done. Now some people will use the excuse, oh, but I can't get out of work. You can. You explain to work you're due your smear test and you have to get it done. If they kick up a fuss to say, well, it's my life at risk, you know, so I'm going to get it done. You can go before work. A lot of surgeries open early. You can go before work. You can go on your lunch. You can work through your lunch, leave early, go get your smear test done. Highly recommend getting it done for nothing else but peace of mind. Now my story is not to scare you in any way, shape or form, but it is to remind you that you do need to keep an eye on things. You never know what is going on. You are no doctor. If you are a doctor, do you examine your insides with dyes and things to keep things under check? I highly doubt it. I would definitely recommend getting your smear test done. It's your life at risk at the end of the day, and you are much more important than the embarrassment of getting a smear test. It is embarrassing, of course it is, but think of it this way, that nurse or practitioner of whatever medical field, they have seen that so many times it doesn't even matter anymore. They are trained to deal with it. Of course it's a bit embarrassing for you because you're not used to exposing yourself to strangers, but do you know what? It is entirely worth it. I cannot recommend it enough. Now I've managed to keep this quite short. The last video was 20 minutes because I sort of waffled on and on. One thing I want to say is, if you're going through what I went through in regards to waiting for results, discovering you have a very high percentage. Basically I had a 90, I think it came down to a 98% chance of the cancer spreading and actually becoming something much, much worse. I was very high risk, and I have a history of issues in that area, so I was very high risk in the first place, so more fooled me for not going and getting it checked up. So that was incredibly scary, and it still kind of wrenches my gut a bit, so hence being slightly emotional and just kicking myself for leaving it for so long. How could I be so stupid or, you know, just forgetful? It wasn't a case of, oh, I don't want to go for it. The letter had got swept up in lots of other letters and got put to one side, and I'd just forgotten about it. So if you receive a letter and you're unable to phone the doctor for an appointment or your nurse for an appointment immediately, put that letter somewhere where you will see it. Stick it to your cupboard so you'll see it before you have your breakfast or you have your morning cup of tea. Put it in your diary. Write in your diary, this is what I'm doing today. I'm ringing the doctor on my lunchtime, I'm booking my appointment. Make sure you do it. Please, just do it. It's not the end of the world. If you want to talk about anything you're going through, and you know, maybe you don't want to talk. I didn't really speak to my family very much about it. I'm a wee bit strange, but I very much kept it to myself until I got the results, and even then I sort of told one or two people and then stopped after that, because you get odd reactions sometimes. So if you want to talk to somebody, please just send me, you can send me a direct message. You know, you can go to my profile, go to the about, click there, and you can send a message. So please feel free to contact me. My email address is on there as well. I generally keep that for business, but if you want to talk about this, please contact me. I honestly do not mind. I will quite happily talk to you. And if you just want to rant and rave and worry and stress, feel free. Feel free. I'm aware of how scary it can be. So I would rather you talk to me rather than bottling it all up like I did a lot of the time. Thankfully I talked to my husband about it and one other really close friend. They were the only two that knew the full details. I told my mum bits and pieces, but I didn't really want to worry her, so I didn't tell her everything. You know yourself, you don't want to stress people out. But I found myself randomly walking to work and bursting into tears because I was so stressed about it. So I'm not going to get emotional about it now, so we're going to be all okay and hunky-dory. What I want you all to do, book your smear test. Get that in order. Get your test done. Go on. Dare you. Take a picture this week. So from the 15th to the 21st, the Flip Your Lips campaign is running. And if you go to the Red Lippy Project website, which I have linked down below, there are details there on how to take part. You are going to take your picture, turn it on its side for Instagram. You know, you've got that wee thing, you can rotate pictures, turn it on its side. Hashtag Flip Your Lips. And you can also tag other people to take part. And if you know you have a friend who has been meaning to book their smear test, tag them or remind them or show them the funny picture going, God, have you got that done yet? A wee gentle reminder. I have nothing else to really add at this point, but I just hope that everybody gets their tests done. I am thankfully in the clear, and I am back to every 3 years having my test done. So I will definitely be keeping on top of that, without a doubt. So that is it. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to comment, feel free, leave it down below. Please subscribe, please like, all that kind of jazz. Remind your friends, remind yourself why you have to get your smear test done. It's important, folks. Get it in order. You'll be much happier. Takes the stress out, you're all done. Get it done. Okay, thanks a million. See you in the next video. Bye!